Hey, it's Jason again. Here vouching for the Nashville number system. It is a way of thinking of music and understanding music. You think in numbers and not chords or letters. You still know your chords and your letters. You're not throwing them out. This is just like the next step. This is the way that'll help you understand music a little deeper, and you'll be able to figure out chord progressions really quickly if you start understanding the system. I've been doing it for a long time. From the start, when I first started playing music, this is the way I was taught. So I've always done it this way, and it's I never knew how great it was until I started playing and seeing other people that did not learn that way, and then I realized, oh wow, this system is great. So it's just basic music theory. Whatever key you're in, that's number one, and it's just the major scale from there. So in C, it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's 1 through 7. If you're a piano player, I suggest you learn the numbers in C first, in the key of C. That's the easiest one to learn on the keyboard because it's just straight up the white keys. In some other keys, it gets more complicated. It's not just straight up the white keys, but in C it is. So I'd say if you're a piano player, try to learn it in C. Get familiar with the numbers in C. Most songs that we hear have four common chords in them. 80% of songs that we know have only these four chords in them, or mostly these four chords. It's 1, 4, 5, and 6 minor. Those are your common chords that are 80% of the songs we know. This is just what I say. This is not an actual fact. This is just from my experience. 80% of the songs that we know consist of those four chords. And there are many more chords and songs that have other chords in them. But for the most part, 1, 4, 5, and 6 minor. So I'm going to show you what you can do if you learn this system and get really comfortable with it, get really good at it. You can learn a song just by listening to it, and you don't need an instrument. You can kind of hear the chord progression as far as the numbers are. I don't have perfect pitch, so I don't know what key they're in when I learn them sometimes. Like when I'm sitting in the truck listening to a song, I kind of figured out I figure out the chord progressions kind of for fun. I don't know what key they're in, but when I get to an instrument and I figure out what key they're in, boom, then I know the song. Because I've already figured it out by listening to it. So I'm just going to show you what you can do if you learn this system. So we're going to learn a song here just by listening to it. I had a suggestion to do King of Kings by Hillsong Worship. So we're going to try that one. I don't think I've heard this song before, and that's the key here. Is I want it to be brand new for me, so you can kind of see the process and see how you can recognize the chords by their number and what point in the scale they're in. So let's play this song. Okay. So first you want to find out what key they're in. That's number one. Figure out what key they're in. Okay. So they're in the key of D. So once you find the key, get familiar with that key. Find those four common chords. Find 1, 4, 5, and 6 minor. Get familiar with it. In D, that would be D is 1, G is 4, A is 5, and B minor is 6. So spend a couple minutes or however long it takes to get comfortable with those four spots. Once you're comfortable with that, then you can go on with the song and try to figure out the chord progressions, and now you know which chords you're kind of going to choose from. So let's learn this song. So that's a 1 there. The chord, not the melody line. So they're staying on 1. But let's go ahead and learn that melody too, that little intro, nice little lead part. If you're thinking numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, usually your melodies and all that is inside that scale too. So if you know your scale, that's where you're going to look for these melodies. So let's try to learn this melody. Okay, so there's that melody with a 1 chord, 1 bass. the intro. It's just a low 5 and then a 1, the 5 and then the 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 5. So that's all in the major scale. Anyway, let's move on and try to learn this song. Okay, so that sounds like 1/3, 4, 5, 1. 1/3, 4, 5, 1. Okay, so that sounds like to me they did the same thing 4 times. Sounded like a 1/3 to a 4, then a 5 and a 1. So let's play along with them and see if that's what they did. So I'm thinking they started on a 1/3. And that's it. And then there's the intro again. Here's the chorus. That's a 1, 4, 6, 5. So 1, 4, 6, 5. 4, 6, 4, 5. So that chorus is a 1 to the 4, and then 6 to the 5. And then did a little 5 sus. 1, 4, 6, 5. So on the ending, though, you have to listen to the endings of a lot of phrases because the chorus sounds like the same line twice. But on the ending, the last time, sometimes they can do it twice. Sometimes they do it 4 times, however many times they do it. Make sure you listen to the last line because there's sometimes a little bit of a change, and there was there. So let's listen to that change. 6, 4, 5, 1. So that was the little bit of change there. They, instead of repeating the line, they went to 6, 4, 5, 1. Okay, let's move on. 1/3, 4, 5, 1. So sounds like this is the same as the first verse. But let's listen and make sure. And it was the little intro lick. So that happens a lot, that sometimes all of the verses are the same. Sometimes all of the choruses are the same. So if you can write the song out in just parts, write the verse out, and then you might not have to, and it might be the same line 4 times. So if they do 2 verses, but the verses are that same line 4 times, instead of writing 8 lines of the same thing, just 1 line. The verse is this line times 4. The second verse, same line times 4. So you save a lot of paper and a lot of confusion. It doesn't look as big as it really is. It's 1 line times 4, whatever. But make sure you listen to those endings, because if there's a difference in the ending, you want to make sure you do that. So let's see if we can get to the bridge and see what they're doing there. Okay, this should be the bridge. Six, four, five, 6, 4, 5, 1. Let's go higher. There we go. 6, 4, 5, 1. So the bridge has been the same thing so far, over and over and over, one line. Okay, there's a little bit of a change there. Okay, so they did it, 4 times or so, and then all of a sudden there's a small change. You got to listen for those small changes. Instead of 6, 4, 1, or whatever it was, 6, 4, 5, 1. There on like the third pass, they started doing, sounded like 1/3 to the 4. And that is a small change, but it makes a big difference in the dynamics of the song. And so a lot of times when you just go online and print out the guitar chords for this song or whatever, a lot of those little small changes get missed. Not every time, but a lot of times those small changes get missed. So make sure you're listening closely to this, because those little tiny differences is what makes the song. And it was what separates you from being pretty good or being great at what you're playing. If you're saying that you're playing King of Kings by Hillsong Worship, then let's play King of Kings by Hillsong Worship, and let's do it the way that they wanted to do it. So let's go on and see what happens after that. Ending it with that intro look. Back to the chorus. Okay, that looks like that's about it. That's about the song. So we just kind of took each part and figured it out. Now, when you're figuring out songs like this, definitely write it down as you figure it out, because if you don't, by the time you get to the bridge or whatever, you forgot what the intro was, or you like right now, I don't necessarily remember how the verse goes because I don't know this song. This is the first time I've heard it. So make sure you write it down as you go. You're not going to need that paper all the time, but just for sake of remembering it, after you figure it out, write it out real quick, and then you can work on memorizing it. But think of it in little small parts, like verse is one line. It's just one line 4 times. And then they change the last chord on the ending. Or you know what I mean? So if you look at those guitar chord sheets, they can be really long and really busy, but it doesn't have to be. Simplify it as much as you can. Learn the song in parts. And if you're thinking numbers, you can put this song in any key you want. For sake of the singer, if you can't sing in that key, but you figured out the song and you wrote it down in numbers, now you don't have to change anything on your paper because the numbers are the same. The numbers are the song. That is the structure of the song. You can place that structure anywhere in any key you want. So that's one of the many benefits of using the number system. So I encourage you to learn it. Learn the number system, get familiar with it, practice using the number system. Just pick one key and get used to 1, 4, 5, and 6 in that key. And I feel like that will help you a lot in learning songs and also in understanding music.